Good evening, calling the meeting to order. It is 6:19. Welcome to the Monday, September 18th, 2023 meeting of the Town of Woodbridge Board of Police Commissioners and Traffic Authority. We'll begin with the Board of Police Commissioners. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. I noted from the minutes that although we only have 3 of the commissioners tonight, there is a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
You two will be busy tonight. Is there any suggested changes?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor? It carries unanimously, thank you. Next item on our agenda is executive session. That was a short intro. We are now asking everyone else to leave. Is there a second? All those in favor?
Thank you
That
very
carries
much.
unanimously, thank you. Executive session, it is 7:46. There were no votes taken during executive session. There was one internal affairs issue that was addressed. The officer that was the subject of that IA was extended an invitation to appear, and he declined that invitation. So moving on to what we dealt with during executive session, we interviewed 2 candidates who are certified officers. Is there a motion to extend a conditional offer of employment to Thomas J. Testa?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor? That carries unanimously. I should indicate that the offer to Mr. Testa is at grade B salary, including 5 days of vacation. After completion of 1 year's service, his pay will move up to grade A, and after completion of 1 year's service, will receive 10 vacation days. The conditional offer of employment is subject to him passing both a physical and psychological.
Question, are there sick days?
I'm sorry.
It's 5 vacation days, what are the sick
They're
days?
earned monthly. Sick days are earned per month.
Is there a motion to extend a conditional offer of employment to candidate Nicholas A. Sammartino?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Carries unanimously. That conditional offer of employment to Mr. Sammartino includes a grade B salary with 5 vacation days. After completion of 1 year's service, his pay will move up to grade A, and after completion of 1 year's service, he'll receive 10 vacation days. That offer is subject to him passing a physical exam. The next item on our agenda is public comments, correspondence. Do we receive any correspondence?
No,
Did any member of the public indicate that they wish to be heard?
no,
Is there anyone here now that you're aware of?
thank you.
Next item on our agenda is the financial report.
So for the financial report, currently we're just over 2 months into the new fiscal year, and our reflected expenditures at this point are mainly contractual related stipends and mandatory operational requirements and the costs associated with that. One line that I'm sure you'll see there that I'd like to note that's been significantly impacted is our police overtime line. That's 5043L, which as of last week was at 29.3% of it used. But that directly correlates with our diminished staffing levels. Over the past few months, we've been dealing with a lot of scheduling challenges and mandatory order-ins and holdovers associated with having 2 retirement vacancies, 1 officer out on admin leave, 1 officer out on unanticipated medical-related absence, and 3 officers out on workman's comp-related injuries. So along with that, I know it's a lot of overtime, but I'd like to recognize and praise our personnel because it was a great job by our dedicated sergeants and officers, as always, but especially over the summer. Throughout the summer on a daily basis, challenging times coupled with staffing circumstances that they've had to deal with over the past several months, but everybody stepped up and we were able to, as difficult as it was, get everything covered and addressed. That's all I have for financial.
So where should we be with overtime percentage-wise at this stage?
Well, 2 months in, so we should be like right around 20%. We have 20. I mean, we could be less than that if we had full staff. We could. So, you know,
I mean, that's not terrible,
depends
despite
on-
the fact that it was
No,
a
absolutely
challenge
not.
time. 20, I mean, 9% over is not, that's not crazy at all.
No, but we haven't had any major incidents or storms too that would contribute to that.
Right, but it's still low staffing, so there,
Right.
you managed to maneuver that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would be balanced off with the salary line funding, and that wouldn't be used.
Just not 2 months is 16.6%, if it's on an average.
So it's a little less than double then, or 29.3. Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
I told you you'd be busy. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That carries unanimously. Next item is the activity report.
Okay, a review of the activity over the criminal activity, at least over the past 2 months. So for July and August, we have one assault which involved a shooting incident that occurred back on August 3rd on Raymond Street. And I shared that with you in the press release on that. There was an arrest made with that, and those charges are still pending. There's one burglary at the transfer station that occurred back in July during the overnight hours. We responded to 5 different family disputes, 28 various fraud investigations over the past 2 months, all different types, check frauds, identity theft online, scams, so forth. 3 threatening calls, 5 unwanted persons, 6 various larceny calls, 2 larcenies from motor vehicles. Both of those occurred at the same night and same evening, actually, around 7:30 p.m. That time frame. 2 cars parked at the community gardens over here, Fitzgerald track. People at the dog park, their windows were smashed and purses were taken. 6 different mental health issues responded to, 2 missing person cases. Both were subsequently located, one in Milford and one in New Haven. 8 noise complaints. And 2 stolen vehicle incidents. One was a recovered stolen vehicle in July at the, ended up at the Pease Road Playground around 2:30 in the morning. It was a vehicle that had been stolen the day prior out of Watertown. And on the 28th of this month, a vehicle was stolen around 5:30 in the morning from the Starbucks lot. Patron went inside, came out, his car was gone, the vehicle was recovered a few days later in New Haven, unoccupied. During the months of July and August, ISU assumed 10 new investigation. They performed processing and background investigations for 7 pistol permit applications and completed 37 public fingerprinting requests and conducted the background investigations of 3 certified officer applicants. ISU was able to identify and secure an arrest warrant for the person responsible for the robbery of Citizens Bank that occurred in March of this year, and that warrant was served and subject arrested on August 24th. As I mentioned at our June meeting in May, ISU prepared to testify in the trial of the first of the 2 suspects arrested for the 2021 Pease Road Park homicide. That suspect was found to be guilty on all charges: murder, felony murder, robbery, conspiracy, criminal possession of a firearm. And on August 4th, he was sentenced to 80 years in prison. And the start date of the trial for the second suspect is still pending at this time. So that'll be coming up. And in an unrelated case, working with other agencies, They were able to identify and arrest the suspect responsible for a 2021 nighttime carjacking with a firearm that occurred on Warren Road. That suspect was identified and linked to numerous robberies, carjackings, and other incidents throughout our immediate area and throughout a lot of Connecticut. And on August 30th, he was sentenced in federal court to 28 years in prison. And more recently, they secured search warrants and processed the crime scene of the Raymond Road shooting incident, and they were involved in the seizure of numerous firearms associated with this protective order associated with a road rage incident that occurred on Northrop Road last month. And that's all I have for the criminal activity, and the deputy could share the traffic activity report.
Concerning traffic, in the month of July, we had 25 motor vehicle accidents. We had 25 in August, so that stayed the same. In August, our officers conducted 64 motor vehicle stops, which was a 10% increase from our July numbers. During the month of August, our officers conducted 322 speed enforcement assignments and 316 deterrent traffic patrols. The speed trailer was located on Amity Road and Bradley Road for some time, and it was also placed on Johnson Road between Ansonia Road and Rimmon Road. We are planning on putting the speed trailer once again on North Pease, where we've received multiple complaints, and we're also going to put it back on Johnson Road in between Ansonia and Rimmon to just extract data from our trailer. We wanted to do that while the school was now in session to see if our numbers would change, because we have done a couple traffic studies and compare those traffic studies to see how it plays out.
What kind of data does it collect?
I'm sorry?
What kind of data does it collect?
It'll tell us how many vehicles are actually traveling on the road, what the median speed of all the vehicles are. There'll be some outliers with the maximum speed, how many vehicles are traveling, beyond say the 85th percentile. We'd also be able to really, it'll tell us when we can, or where we should put our enforcement efforts, like what time of day. Are most vehicles speeding between 4:30 and 6:30, rush hour, early in the morning, things of that sort.
Is the North Pease placement in part to determine whether you got high school students exiting around 2:30 p.m. versus other?
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing too, with regard to North Pease, we had a traffic committee meeting, and some of the complaints from some of the residents were the students that were pulling out of the parking lot onto North Pease Road. So we talked to one of the maintenance directors there at the school, and they're thinking of putting a speed hump right at the exit, so no one just really speeds out. So they're working on that right now, so that might make things a little bit better. So we should have more data regarding those two specific problem areas next month.
The the Newton Road entrance to the high school, it seems like for years that people use that as a drop-off. And there's a lot of signs there now, you don't stop here. It just seems to people kind of ignore that. It seems kind of dangerous. I mean, that's like the only area that's really busy in the morning. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Where people dump kids.
Yeah, we have our traffic officer there. The
But he's
SRO
busy,
there.
he can't
Yeah,
do traffic and deal with that.
true.
I mean, in the morning, that's one place, one of the few places in town that's really rocking. It's just nonstop, cars coming and going. That happens a little bit further up the road from where he is. There's nothing he can do, he's
Yeah.
directing traffic, but
Yeah.
Share with the B squad, with the day squad patrol. So maybe they
I mean, it's just, that's been since my oldest was in high school, that's now like
No, I
10
see
years.
the same thing when I come to work in
Yeah.
the morning.
All right, is there a motion to approve the activity report? Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Surprisingly, it carries unanimously. Next item is the chief's report.
So on September 1st, at the First Selectman's request, I represented the town at a meeting called by Mayor Ellenberg of New Haven that involved the police chiefs in our area and the CEOs from many of the towns to acknowledge the pressing issue of the illegal operation of ATV and dirt bikes within our region, the risks they pose, and to discuss the importance of multi-agency collaboration and a coordinated effort to address the growing problem. To combat the issue, it was agreed that a joint task force with a unified commitment from neighboring communities is crucial and would be implemented. The task force involves a commitment of at least one officer on a part-time basis to serve as a member and a liaison to the group. The goal of the task force and of the group and of all of us involved is to have weekly intelligence sharing and strategy meetings to develop best practices in preventing and responding to illegal dirt bike and ATV activity, and to participate in joint efforts to curb the use of those vehicles, and most importantly, the willingness of everyone to dedicate additional resources when feasible to support larger coordinated law enforcement efforts when we learn of a planned mass gathering of the illegal motorized vehicles, whether it be in New Haven or any of the surrounding communities. Everybody's kind of strapped for manpower, so if everybody could come together and see to participate, it gives us more numbers. So the participation in the communities is all non-binding, but everybody's expressing staffing challenges. Beth has acknowledged the town's willingness to support our neighboring communities, and we look forward to working alongside them moving forward with that. At the weekly intel meetings in New Haven, we sent a representative, and so now that's part of that meeting. A couple of times now we sent officers to New Haven for a few hours. A couple weeks ago they were anticipating a large ride going from Willimantic to Wallingford, so they reached out and everybody sent 1 or 2 officers for a period of time that day. And the big thing with that is that you never know when they're going to stop and when they're going to come through, but at least by participating when we need them to come here, or if we need them to come here, they'll be willing and able to. So that's where we are with that. Just a quick update on our door security S2 project. Over the summer, personnel from JKS Systems were on site. They completed the installation of our building's electric door access monitoring system, the control panel, and associated cabling, strike plates for 14 positions that were funded throughout fiscal year 22 and 23. Finally, all the parts with the shortage that's been going nationwide of everything, software and all, everything came in. Those have been installed, it's working well, and I'm looking forward to proposing funding in fiscal year 25 just to complete the 2 remaining access points that we have so that we can maximize the whole 16 ports of our system, all the ports that would be available to us. Coming up in November, and as we have for the past several years now, I'll be allowing officers and dispatchers to participate in the No Shave November annual fundraiser to raise funds supporting cancer prevention, research, and education. Again, this year we'll be in partnership with the Connecticut Cancer Foundation to benefit Connecticut cancer patients. All participating will be reminded that, as always, they need to maintain a professional and neat appearance during the event, and I wish them the best for another successful year with their fundraising efforts for this important cause. And then coming up on Saturday, October 28th, as we've done for the past several years, we'll be teaming up with the Drug Enforcement Agency for their 25th nationwide one-day prescription drug take-back initiative. That'll give our residents, again, the opportunity to turn in unwanted, expired, unused controlled substances. All the medications collected that day will be transported to a predetermined site and turned over to the DEA, And from there, they'll be incinerated at various facilities throughout New England and converted into clean, renewable energy for use by local communities.
Is it just controlled drugs or all prescription drugs?
Any prescription drugs that they want. I'd be happy if they can dispose of them. And that's all I have for the chief's report.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the report of the chief?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Carries unanimously. Next item are the personnel matters.
Okay, just an update on our extended absences. Over the summer, we have 4 of our personnel out on extended absences for various lengths of time. 3 of them were for worker comp-related injuries. 1 was for an unanticipated medical emergency matter. Police report that 3 of those 4 have since returned to work at full duty status without restriction. So currently, we have only 1 employee still out on an extended workers' comp-related injury, and his return to work date is yet to be determined. And we have a dispatcher that I'd like to recognize for her performance. On August 3rd, at 7:52, dispatcher Stephanie Sullivan was the sole on-duty dispatcher, at which time she fielded calls reporting a shooting on Raymond Road and immediately alerted police and emergency medical personnel. Upon arrival, we located a female and a second child outside the home. The woman who was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head and who was uninjured were removed from the property, and it was determined that the suspect responsible was still inside the home, refusing to exit. During the incident, dispatcher Sullivan remained calm and composed while simultaneously communicating with the caller on the phone, providing updates to the emergency responders, and contacting other agencies for a mutual aid response. As a result, and due to the collective efforts of all, the suspect exited the home and was taken into custody without further incident. The public safety communication professionalism displayed by dispatcher Sullivan during this incident warrants my gratitude and is hereby officially recognized for a job well done with a letter of recognition that I issued to her on behalf of the department. And upcoming retirements, as I previously reported in our July meeting, Officer John Calabrese officially notified me in June of his intent to retire, and that will become effective on October 2nd, 2023, having completed 15 years of service with our department. Additionally, and most recently, Officer Vincent Lynch notified me on August 14th of his intent to retire from the department with 25 years of collective law enforcement and military service, and his retirement became effective on August 25th. As I shared with you via email, Officer Lynch accepted a position with the Woodbridge Board of Ed as an armed school security officer at the Beecher Road School. That's working out really well for him and for the school, and with in communications and still being in collaboration with us, so everything's going smoothly with that. And I'd like to officially thank both officers for their dedication to duty and their exemplary service to the police department, to our community, and wish them many years of health and happiness in their retirements and new endeavors as they move forward. And the last thing I had was just an update on our hiring status. So with the 2 officers that were hired this evening, that will leave us with the 2 retirements that I just reported. 1 retirement and 1 resignation that I reported to you earlier. With those 2, we'll have 2 vacancies upcoming October 1st and October 2nd. We recently participated in the South Central Criminal Justice Regional Testing process. We've had 6 applicants, new recruit applicants that we've received applications for, that we're vetting, and we'll be conducting background checks of them, and as well as another certified officer applicant that we're looking into now. So hopefully at our next month's meeting, we'll be able to address that maybe in between with the subcommittee and further action on that at our October meeting. And that's all I have for personnel.
Next on our agenda is new business. Is there anything? Is there a motion to adjourn the
Motion to
police
adjourn.
commission? Second. All those in favor? Moving on to Woodbridge Traffic Authority, are there any comments from the public or correspondence?
There's not.
Okay. There are two matters on our traffic agenda.
So just two matters. The first one is that the Woodbridge Fire Department will be holding their 12th annual truck or treat event, and that'll be on Tuesday evening, October 31st. As the event traditionally draws a large attendance, they're seeking the local traffic authority's approval for the closure of Route 114 between Newton Road and Meeting House Lane from about 4 p.m. Or 4:30 p.m. through 9:30 p.m. approximately, which would enable them to then, after they get your approval, to solicit a special highway use permit from the Connecticut DOT. Once the fire department closes the road, police will be assigned traffic posts appropriately throughout the detour, and traffic will be rerouted as we have done in the past, Newton Road through the town center and then back out onto Meeting House Lane. Done it this way numerous times over the years, and by doing so, it leaves the crosswalk area in front of the firehouse here free and accessible to pedestrian traffic, and it works well to ensure the safety of all those in attendance. So we would need a motion from the LTA for approval.
Is there a motion to approve the truck or treat event closing the road?
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Carries unanimously.
And the second item under traffic, we had received a request from some residents on Shady Lane, and they're requesting at the intersection of Route 63 at 114, Amity at Center there, that it be posted no turn on red for vehicles traveling southbound on Amity Road. In their request, they state that southbound traffic is not aware of the northbound turn signal being activated, and that vehicles making a right turn on red often roll through an intersection without completely stopping. At that intersection, the highway is clearly delineated with two southbound lanes, one of which is marked for use to make a right turn onto 114 here, traveling south. Traffic traveling northbound, they do have a left turn arrow at the overhead control signal light to facilitate a left turn onto Route 114. The residents feel that southbound traffic is not aware of the northbound turn signal being activated, and that the vehicle is making a right turn on red often roll through the intersection without stop. A review of the accident history at that location for the past 2 years, from August 1st of 21 through August 29th of this year, revealed that although there have been 9 collisions at that intersection, none of them were attributed to the factors associated with the turn. They were all rear enders or vehicles crossing over the center line. So based on that data, at this time it doesn't really appear that there's any action that the traffic authority could take on the matter, and I feel their concern could be best addressed with the forwarding of the request of the Connecticut DOT. That's something I could work through and facilitate, and put the residents in contact with them for further explanation as to the traffic engineering and signalization decisions by the state DOT. So I'll go forward with that unless the board has any other ideas of what to do. Based on the data, I don't see that that's a possibility, but the data doesn't show that that's necessarily the case at that intersection.
I think it's a good idea to refer it to DOT.
And that's the only, those are the only 2 items we have under traffic right now.
What was the date of the truck or treat event?
Halloween, August 31st. I mean, October 31st.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
just one question if I may. Not meaning to delay things, there was a citizen, Mr. Javier Vilas, in July's meeting, talking about traffic issues on a stretch of Johnson Road, concern for kids at risk. think there was gonna be data collected in August. I don't know if there's any follow-up, because he was requesting they reduce the speed limit to 25 miles an hour.
So that's what the deputy referenced. One location we put the speed show, we did do one study, and during the summer, since the initial request, we did one. And now, that's what he was referring to, we're going to get it out there again, like on North Peace, to get another one in that location while schools, and then use both of those studies and the data from those to make an informed decision of how we want to go forward.
Thank you.
So I think we just need to vote on that. There's a motion to adjourn. Vote. All those in favor? Thank you all.
Okay, thank you all.
It's now 8:15.
Thank you.